For more on this, let's bring in NBC News chief international analyst as well as author of the new book, The Restless Wave, Admiral James Stavridis. Admiral, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. So first, we just want to start by asking you and your expertise to put this escalation into context. We've had a lot of conversations about, will a wider war start? Is this the wider war? How has Iran's attack escalated this already tense situation between Israel, Iran, and Iranian proxies in the area?
Let's start with what is a regional war. We're not there yet. A regional war would be full-on, aggressive, continuous combat between Iran and Israel. It would almost certainly drag the United States in defense of Israel. It would shut down the Strait of Hormuz. It would crack the global economy. That's a regional war. We're not there yet, fortunately. The bad news is that I'd say the chances of getting there to that wider regional war, as we sit here today in the wake of the series, most recent series of strikes, I think it's probably around 25%, a 25% chance we do end up in a very wide regional war. And what worries me is the next move on the part of the Israelis. There are a lot of voices in Israel who have watched the successes of the IDF against Hamas, a terrorist organization in the south in Gaza, the success up north. As Matt said, the killing around the region of many of the enemies of Israel feels like a go-for-it moment to many Israelis. Hey, Iran is a nation of 90 million people. Israel is a country with 10 million people. Ultimately, that's not a good correlation of forces. Let's hope the Israelis strike back. I think they're going to, and they should. But the idea of launching a war, a serious war with Iran, unfortunately, is on the table, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that strike back, what shape do you think it could take, and then where would things go from there?
Yeah, exactly the right question. If I were in the Israeli Defense Forces version of the Pentagon, and I've been there many, many times. I was in charge of U.S.-Israeli military-to-military relations for 4 years when I was Supreme Allied Commander of NATO. What they are presenting to the War Cabinet are a series of escalatory options that probably run from a major cyber attack to go after the economy, up to special forces, further targeted killings, perhaps in Tehran, cruise missile strikes, perhaps from the sea, going after energy infrastructure, or perhaps the nuclear facilities. You kind of work your way up in terms of the options you present. And at the top of that list is full-on alpha strikes over the capital, Tehran. I doubt that's where the War Cabinet is going to go, Joe. I think the choice will probably land in a fairly aggressive strike directed, I would guess, against the Iranian nuclear facilities. That is a pretty tempting target if you're Israeli.